Hello, everyone. There's Bruno. I'm Mike, and welcome back. Today we're going to be out in the garage. It is a little chilly and a little muddy out, so Bruno's going to stay in here and couch. And we'll get out in the garage and show you what I've been up to. Okay, as you can see, I bought another small vise. Um, upon further inspection and tearing it apart, there was a lot of. It looks like they had used some sort of automotive body filler of some sort. Um, you can see right here where it's all red to fill in the pitting and probably to keep it rusting. This is stuff they use. I mean, it's all over the inside of this thing. Um, as you can see. Um, so somebody else had been into it. What clued me the first time, the reason I got this vise is because I have another small vise downstairs in the laboratory, but this one has the teeth on it. The other one that I have is a smooth jaw. Now, once I got it here and started tearing it down, the more and more I thought, this just wasn't really what you'd call high quality. Somebody had already pretty much rounded out the jaw screws. I was able to get those out. I do have replacement ones here. But if you look at the jaws, see if you can tell me what is amiss. Because this one looks like it's way down lower than this one. Now, I don't know if it's so that they ain't interchangeable or what, but even in this here is how they fit. But they don't even look like they match up too well. So I'm not sure. Well, another thing I noticed in taking it apart, it had, well, this washer and this spring in it. And I don't know. To me, that feels awfully soft. The problem I'm having is that when this inserts into the hole there, there's not too much wiggling around. However, here to about right to where the edge of my thumb is, you can kind of see where it's wore down, where it isn't the same thickness as this. So when it fits into here, that spring tension isn't a whole lot, and there's a whole lot of wiggling around going on. So I thought maybe, if I sleeved it with a brass coupling or some aluminum tubing. The problem I ran into there is that while the hole thickness I can get, then it's too big to go into there. So I can't sleeve that hole. I thought about maybe JB welding that entire hole and re-drilling it out. Well, then if I put any amount of pressure or torque on that, would that crack the JB weld? Then I got the idea of maybe if I could find one of the old farmers around here, if they could build up this metal here with some weld, and then I can reshape it to eliminate some of that play. I mean, it's a heavy, sturdy enough vise, but I think thinking of putting all that body filler in there was to try and keep it from rusting even more, because it's pitted. But they either ground it so far down that the back end of where these holes are have broken through or corroded through, or maybe it's just a forging thing. This anvil looks like it's been pretty well beat up. But it's going to be a light duty vise. But it's still like it to operate within, decent parameters. I mean, it should, hold up fairly well for what I'm going to use it for down in the laboratory. But out here, I've got this one here, which is a Masterforce. And I've had this for quite a few years now, and I haven't had any problems with it at all. It's just, like I said, I'm not that hard on the stuff that, I do things with. I did find a couple other interesting finds along with that. This was at the vise itself, I found at a small town yard sale. Around here, the small towns have a citywide yard garage sale every year, every spring, and like every fall. And then the whole town and community just has everything, and then you just drive to that town and shop the town. It's kind of a neat feature. We have it here in our town also. But yeah, I did pick up a couple other things, and they are right here. I'll show you these. I did get a small pipe cutter, Papco 500. Works really well. Doesn't look like it's had too much use. Cutting wheel itself is got a nice edge on it. It still works pretty smooth. Still has the reamer on it. It looks like pretty good shape. The deburring thing. I paid $4 for that. Another thing I've also found, and they don't even sell them anymore, at least not around here that I've been able to find, is these style spark plug gappers, or feeler gauge style, where it's the loop wire, has metric on the other side. Usually when you go to find a spark plug gapper nowadays, it's a little wheel. I kind of did away with the wheel. I've got 2 sets of feeler gauges. I use those from now on. Pardon me. Due to the fact that I had problems with accuracy. Another couple of neat things. This one was tagged as a German silver compass. And it looks like EC. And let's see. But yeah, I picked that up for $3. That was kind of neat. I'm going to try and see if some flits will kind of polish that up a little bit, maybe down in the laboratory when I do some of my cleaning up on some things. This one was from the same gentleman. This one's an antique divider, is what he listed it as. Kind of a similar deal, but I think the compass is more for, the compass work and, your circular dimensions and stuff like this. This, I think, is more of a measuring device like a caliper. Those points come, I don't know if I can, there we go, come to a real fine point. They're not as sharp as the compass for scratching or what have you. But you can actually spread them apart and lock them down. And I think this is more for measuring. I don't think I'd want to try and scratch those tips for scratching, because to be quite honest with you, I like the way they look. But yeah, I think that's more of a measuring type of style, the way he had it listed. And that one was also once, he discounted that also. He had it listed for $650, but I think I paid $4 for it. And then the next thing I would like to talk about is I picked this up. Well, my wife picked it up. She was going to use it for whatever her journaling ideas were, but it looks like it was a thing that you could probably pick up at a gas station or something like that. But metrics made easy. So it tells you what pints are in a liter, gallons to liters, feet to meters, inches to millimeters. And I mean, you know, you slide it to your standardized or Americanized measurement, and it'll give you the metric equivalent. And I thought that this was really, really neat. So it just slides in a little sleeve. And I just thought it was neat. And I said, well, what were you going to do with that? She goes, well, I was going to, cut it apart. It's like, no, don't do that. So I absconded with it. I gave her the 50 cents or whatever it was she paid for it. But I just thought that was neat. I mean, all the graphics on it. But yeah, it kind of has like, the gas pump, what the temperatures are, just kind of like an old map, city sign, highway sign. But yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. Amsterdam company, Amsterdam, New York. But yeah, I thought that was kind of neat. The next thing I would like to talk about, and this is just, kind of a tip. If you guys are just now getting into, especially some of you younger guys, are getting into working on some of this older stuff, pardon me, or you just like to work on old cars, whether you're trying to do some stuff in your own house. If you go to like your local Goodwill, DAV, your resale shop, nonprofit type of thing, and you can usually find these relatively cheap, I recommend you getting them. And these are, two of them are from Reader's Digest. Now, Reader's Digest was like a monthly little thing or bi-weekly, I'm not too sure. I remember them as a kid, and they'd have like short stories and stuff like that. Well, they also came out with these how-to books, like this one here, Complete Car Manual. I just picked this one up, Fix It Yourself Manual from Reader's Digest. A while back I found this one, Creative Homeowner and Home Improvement, Proven Money Saving Projects, Ways to Go Green. But when working on some of these older homes or working on older equipment, whether you're doing toasters, old TVs, old radios, any of that stuff, old cars, these books come really handy. I mean, like drum brakes. Check out that. An exploded view of how it all looks and how they all go together. Let's see here. like how to drive like different types of clutches, like your spring clutch or your diaphragm clutch. But look at those exploded pictures and how that all works. I mean, they just don't make this stuff like this anymore. Trying to think here. This one was 1981. Was the copyright on this one. Like on this book here, this here, some of the pictures in here, again, clocks and timers, can repair basics. Let's see here. I mean, like old electric shavers. I mean, look, they even give you how to fix your old electric shaver. Rotisseries, boiler ovens, electric knives and how they work. I mean, it's all exploded views of everything. This book in particular, 1977. But I mean, all the like canoes, bicycles, thermostats, power tools, pests, lawn tractors, lawnmowers, chainsaws, small engines, and I mean, even to me, this looks almost similar to a Briggs or maybe even a Tecumseh. Thinking this one has the breaker points in it. Two-stroke engines, like what you'll find in like some of the smaller motorcycles and chainsaws and stuff like that. But I mean, they come in really, really handy, real detailed pictures. This one here is, let's see here what we got for a date on this one. This one copyrighted in 2006 and 2011. So I'm printed in Canada. So this one's a fairly newer book. Safety equipment. But these also like trim work, floors and stairs. But these are all colored pictures. Let's see here. Ventilation. Cooling, like your different thermostats and how they work. Basic maintenance, heating, and how they work. Insulation, plumbing, sump pump. Now when it comes to like water heaters and furnaces and stuff like that, I would recommend having a professional do that, only because certain cities have certain coatings. Same with some of the electrical if you're doing your fuse box or whatever. But if you're replacing an outlet, yeah, you can do that yourself. But yeah, like piping and stuff, if you gotta replace a toilet and how toilets work. I mean, even like the flush valve on how to fix all that. I mean, these books, electrical, lighting fixtures, circuit breakers, masonry, fasteners and adhesives. I mean, if you can find these books, grab them up. Because, you know, for most of us guys that do all this stuff, we're pretty much learning as we go along too. So there's always going to be something where if there's 3 different ways you can think of doing it, you can always, you know, grab one of your reference books and find out. Like I said, they're cheap enough. I think I paid $10 for this home repair and improvement book. And I think I paid maybe $5 on each one of those. So yeah, if you guys see them and you guys are new to this, or you just like the detail. Those would be, I would recommend getting them. So with all that, let's go back and check and see what Bruno's doing. And I thank you very much. It's kind of a late night for me. We had some rain, and then I had some yard work to try and take care of. I had another load of brush and branches and stuff to take to the yard waste facility, and we had some rain, and it's kind of muddy down there. I still have 2 piles out the back that need to be hauled out, but other than that, we'll go and see what Bruno's up to. I bet you anything he's on the chair. Let's find out. We're going to try and sneak up on him. Oh, nope, he's laying right there by the door. You see that, guys? What a pumpkin. He's such a good boy. Was you watching the door? Was you being a good boy? Huh? Was you being a good boy? Huh? Was you being a good boy? Yes, you were. Alrighty, folks. Thanks again, and keep on tinkering.